Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This channel is purely dedicated for the students who are willing to prepare for UGC NET with the subject of HR and labor law. Below here, my Instagram handle has been mentioned. If any one of you has any sort of query, you can comment down below in the comment box or either direct message me on my Instagram handle. Moving forward, in this video, we are going to discuss about the rest part of the Unit 1, which is Development of Management of Thought. In the previous video, we have discussed in brief about the scientific management theory given by F.W. Taylor. So in this current video, we will be discussing about the second management thought, which is the administrative theory. Moving forward, the administrative school of management thought. This administrative theory was given by Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol was known as the father of management. His one of the major book, which is General and Industrial Management. In this book, he has given his 14 major principles of administrative theory. This administrative theory majorly focuses on the development of managerial principles which were being untouched or being neglected in the scientific management theory given by Taylor. The major contributors of administrative theory along with Henry Fayol were Luther Gulick, Mary Parker Follett and Shelton. Also, I would like to tell you that the term administration or administrative was firstly given by Mark and Simon. I would like all of you to note this name as it may come in your MCQ questions. The first person to term the administration or the administrative were Mark and Simon. Mark M-A-R-C-H and Simon S-I-M-O-N, Simon. This administrative theory is also known as traditional theory, structural theory, formal theory, mechanistic and management process school. This administrative theory focuses on formal organization structure and process of administration. This administrative theory supports the belief of economic man, which means that money is a source of motivation to the employee. This administrative theory believes that administration is same everywhere and is universally valid. In this theory, the Fayol tries to tell that how the management should interact with the employees. Fayol's theory provided a broad and analytical framework of the process of administration which overcomes the drawback of Taylor's management theory. Moving forward, here are some of the activities of administration theory, in which A. Technical activities. This activity is related to the production or manufacturing of goods and services. B. Commercial activities. This activity is concerned about dealing with sales, purchase and distribution of goods and services. C. Financial activities. This activity is related to creation of necessary capital and its optimal use for the development and growth of the organization. D. Accounting activities. This activity is related to recording of transactions and then preparing the financial statements. E. Security activities. This activity is related to the protection of people and property in an organization. This security activities can be done by providing safe working conditions, insurance policies, etc. And the last is managerial activities. This activity is considered with the elements of management which are planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating and controlling. Here I have done one mistake in the video, that I have not concluded the activities of the administration theory according to the way I was explaining them. So I would like all of you to take a note on them. Moving forward in the video, here are some of the elements of administration theory. These elements are: P for planning. Planning is forecasting the future. O for organizing. Organizing is creation of organizational structure that will bring human resource, or you can say non-human resource, together to work together. C stands for commanding. Commanding is the process of giving direction or orders by the superior to the subordinate. C is for controlling. Controlling means comparing the actual performance of the organization with the desired performance level and checking if there is a need for any sort of improvement, and when a deviation is found, implementing the necessary changes to improve the performance. C stands for coordinating. There are various divisions in the organization. So, coordinating is the process of bringing the action of all the divisions and departments and integrating their efforts for fulfillment of organizational goals. Next, moving forward, here are 14 major principles of administration theory, in which the first comes order. This principle states that every material and manpower should be given a proper place in the organization. A right and a continuous order must be followed during the manufacturing or any sort of task in the organization. The right man for the right job is essential in the smooth running of an organization. So, management must identify tasks and put them in a proper order with the limited human and other resources. Next, equity. Here, by the term equity, we means equality. This equity principle implies that all the members working in the organization should be treated equally, irrespective of their position, gender, color, or caste. The third principle is unity of command. In an organization, it is mandatory to have unity while giving the command to the workers. An employee must get orders from only one immediate supervisor, and the employee should be accountable to that immediate supervisor only. There should not be other supervisors to guide the employee or to confuse the employee. This will help to clear the confusion and will make the employee loyal to the activity. The next principle is unity of direction. According to this principle, there should be only one manager under the guidance and the plan of which groups having the same goals and objectives should move forward. This principle suggests that in one department or section, the divisions should only get instruction from one head. This helps in coordinating the group activity to attain a single goal. Next principle is tenure. Stability of tenure. Any employee can work to the fullest if they have a secured job. So, an employee must be provided with job security, which will help them to be efficient. The next principle is scalar chain. By this term, we means proper hierarchy. There should be a chain of supervisors ranging from the top level of management to the lower level of management based on the hierarchy level. The head of an organization is at the top of the chain, and the communication flows from top to bottom through this chain of authority of superiors. The next principle is discipline. In an organization, it is mandatory to follow a discipline. According to this principle, an employee should be obedient and respectful to the authority and the established rules and regulation or the code of conduct of the organization. Next principle is remuneration. By this term, we means fair wages for fair efforts. There must be monetary as well as non-monetary remuneration to the employees based on their performance level. Fuel here focuses more on non-monetary remuneration, in which he believes will create bonding between the employee and the organization. Therefore, remuneration must be fair, reasonable, and satisfactory. The next principle is initiative. The term initiative here means allowing the employees to show initiative during any particular task. An initiative is the level of freedom that an organization should provide to the employee to carry out their plans without forcing them or ordering them. This is related to the creation of interest and willingness in the employee by motivating and satisfying the employee. The next principle is authority. By the term authority, we means right to issue the command. Authority is right to give the command and make decisions. Responsibility is the obligation of any employee to perform a certain designated task and be accountable to the supervisor. There should be a balance between the authority and the responsibility. The next principle is esprit de corps. By this term we means team spirit. The principle implies that union is strength or the team spirit. So the organization must integrate all its actions towards a single goal and a single or a common objective for the benefit of the organization. The next principle is centralization. This principle implies that the topmost level of the authority should be centralized to the top level management. There should be the delegation of power to the subordinate, but the power to make the important decision in the organization should remain with the top level management only. The next principle is subordination. In the 13th principle of subordination, by the term we means general interest and common goals. There are two types of interest. One is the interest of the individual and the other is the organizational interest. So the principle suggests that there must be harmony between these two interests. The organizational interest must be given more priority, as doing good for the organization will bring rewards for the individuals as well. The last principle is division of labor. In the 14th principle of division of labor or division of work, this term means that dividing the work to a specialized person. This principle implies that the overall action of the management should be divided into a compact job and the employee should be allocated certain jobs viewing their interest and skills. This principle helps in specialization and helps to make the workers more effective and efficient. Division of work is important at the technical level as well as managerial level in an organization for smooth operation. So this was all about the administrative theory. I hope you like the content of this channel and would ask to